Yes, my dear friend, welcome back to the channel. Very good morning to you wherever you are around the globe, on the continent of Africa, Europe, in America, in Canada, Australia, or right in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, you are highly welcome to this very Saturday morning edition. Well, we are still in the festive period until we entered into the new year. But a lot is happening on the football world. Our club, my club, your club, Chelsea Football Club. What is our current position on the league table? Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, Arsenal has taken over the second position. Oh yes, Arsenal has taken over the second position on the league table. The leapfrog Chelsea, like I said. Arsenal goes second, 1 point ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea can only go back second on Monday by beating Ipswich. Arsenal will then have to face Brentford away on Wednesday. Then only after facing Brentford, we all know Brentford, they are facing Brentford away in their home, Brentford home. Yes. So there is every possibility they might play a draw, they might lose, or they might win. But on Monday, Chelsea are facing Ipswich. And we can easily, or we might just get back to our position once again. Remember, Ipswich have lost 5 of their last 6 games. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, there is something I want to say. You see, Chelsea fans, we are not actually worried. But there is something that we seem to forget. We seem to forget last season so soon, so quickly. It's been a long while we've tasted a loss. Yes, it's been a long while. And so for Chelsea fans to lose a game in 2 months, it was like all hell, going loose on us. Just because we faced a loss, just one loss in 2 months. Because we seem to forget the taste of losing a game. How it feels like. The pain. We've completely forgot how it feels like when Chelsea lose a game. And 26th, Boxing Day, was a nice reminder of how it actually feels like when we lose a game. Last season, some of us, we cried and cried. We got to a point where we're like, okay, whatever that happens, until after Christmas, I believe, yes, like 2 months to the end of the season, before Chelsea was beginning to pick up, when our injury situation is beginning to improve. But you see, part of the games that Chelsea are losing or have lost or have even drawn this season, partly we blame it on the head coach. But let me say here this morning on your breakfast show, categorically, some perspectives need to be brought on. Some perspectives need to be brought on 26th of December game, the Boxing Day game we play against Fulham. We need to look at some other perspective in the game. You know that Chelsea's first loss in 13 games in all competitions. That was our first loss in 13 games in all competitions. That is in 2 months. First loss in 10 in the league. I don't like how we lost the match on Monday. I don't like it. How Chelsea lost the match. I mean, on is it Wednesday? Yes. I don't like the way we lost the match to Fulham. No, I don't like it. I don't like the way we lost the match. Because it's like we threw it away on our own. We gave it away on our own. But the truth is, loss was going to come sooner than later. The truth is that Chelsea were going to lose a game sooner than later. Seeing our performance at Everton. 1 loss in 13, I will take it all day long. But now it's also about getting the job done against Ipswich on Monday. If we do that, this loss will look irrelevant. Time for the team and Maresca to be mentally strong and give a strong reaction. it is time for the team and Enzo Maresca to give a strong reaction against Ipswich on Monday. Yeah. Because no matter how you try to analyze it, there were issues. We've gotten some facts. Like in the press conference yesterday, Enzo Maresca was asked some few questions. He was asked questions. And one of the things that he was asked, let me tell you what. He said, we never thought we were going to win every game. We lost a game on August 18th. And then another 2 months. And now another 2 months. But we know the reality is not to lose one game every 2 months. So now it is a matter of how we react and try to go again. That is not all. Now, speaking about Noni Madueke, he said for sure the competition has to be higher for the players. But not only Noni Madueke was out against Fulham. He said Renato Viega was also not in the squad. The reason is exactly the same for both of them. There is not any different reason. But dear friend, I will not use the word he lied. I will not use the word that our head coach lied to us. But there are issues in the squad regarding Noni Madueke's discipline. Noni Madueke is facing disciplinary issues. You don't see a squad with three goalkeepers, one on an outfield player, one on the field playing, two goalkeepers on a bench. When you have an attacker that is not even on the bench, you don't often see that. There is no reason why Noni Madueke will be omitted totally from the first 11 and even on the match day squad list. Noni Madueke omitted from the match day squad list totally, and a third goalkeeper added to the bench. Then our head coach is telling us even Renato Viega was also not in the squad. Yes, Viega's position is different. We have defenders right there, and even his inverted position as midfield, we still have some midfielders right there. But how many attackers do we have? You substituted Christopher Nkuku. There was no option for Pedro Neto. There was no option to substitute Pedro Neto. Oh yes. Unless you want to switch Pedro Neto to the left side, right, where Sancho is, and then you move out Sancho to where? To the right. Felix is not the right side of, and I'll tell you what, there is another thing on Felix that I got. Quickly, let me show you that. So, for me, our head coach Enzo Maresca lied to us. There are much more to this than for him just to say, oh, there is no other issue apart from being, technical issue. It is not. Enzo Maresca will need to come back again. And hey, his honeymoon period are over. He's been so comfortable. Enzo Maresca has been so comfortable from the beginning of the season because he's gotten the players. He's got a player that he was to work with, and the players were working for him. But we are beginning to see his favoritisms. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. I understand. Coaches act or they behave that way. Some coaches, I understand. But listen to this. Guillem Balague, close to Maresca. This is a close friend of Maresca speaking. He said this on his YouTube channel 2 weeks ago. Guillem Balague, a close friend to Maresca, said this on his YouTube channel 2 weeks ago. He said, I have talked to the director of football at Chelsea, ownership, and Maresca himself at a time where everyone was having a go at Chelsea. At a time where everyone was having a go at Chelsea, the club basically wants Enzo to be the coach of the players. To be the coach of the players they gave him. The only player he perhaps wasn't convinced by was Joao Felix. This is a man that is close to Maresca. He said he spoke to him, and it was evidently clear from the coach perspective and the directors. The only player Maresca wasn't convinced with was Joao Felix. But the club said to him, please take him. We know you are going to make him better. Please take him. We know you are going to make him better. The rest of the players are the ones he wanted. Now, the club have said to him, if you want a player, let them know. Let us know. They told Maresca, any other players you want around the world, let us know. But the player has to be under 24 years of age. As the club want to create this squad of hungry players that have the ability to improve. You get it? What does this tell you? Now you understand why Joao Felix is not being used by Maresca. Joao Felix is not a player that Maresca actually wanted. It is the club that gave him Joao Felix. Noni Madueke is a player that he wanted. Mudryk was a player that he wanted. Sancho, these are players that but Joao Felix is a player that our head coach didn't want. But the club says, we know you can improve him. Well, this explains the latest Felix exclusion. And if so, is it yet another manager that isn't on the same page in terms of ideas and vision as Chelsea hierarchy? You can say it's just one player in quotes, right? Okay, so let's move on. But the question I want to ask you this morning for your breakfast. There was a need for substitutions against Fulham. Why didn't we do those substitutions? Why? Number one of the players that Enzo Maresca wanted is facing disciplinary issues. We are yet to get the true fact on that. What kind of discipline? What has he done? But another aspect is a player that he doesn't want is there, and he didn't use him. We've been crying. Joao Felix could do better in the same pocket, in the same area, just like Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is being man-marked, and so we believe that he could have been substituted to make way for Joao Felix. That didn't happen. Dear friends, I'll soon be running up in the next 2 minutes. Let me say this. We are meeting Ipswich on Monday. Our head coach speaking again about a team Ipswich, and he pointed at one particular player. Maresca speaking about Delap. Delap is an Ipswich player, an English player. He wants to work with him. Is it that we are going to be seeing Delap in Chelsea soon? His interest in Delap is so strong from the statement he made. When a man likes a fellow man, you will know. Listen to what Enzo Maresca said regarding Delap, Liam. He said, Liam is a fantastic player. We spent 1 year together. I think he scored 22 or 24 goals. This is a very good striker. Works hard off the ball, on the ball. He understands the game and he scores goals. Because of his age, I think he can be an important player for England. Now, remember I mentioned age factor when the friend, Bilega, was speaking to him, below 24. How old is Delap? Are we going to be seeing Delap in Chelsea very soon? Our head coach is showing strong interest in Delap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me also point out that on our game against Ipswich, he's one of the players to watch out for. He's a danger man. Delap, as a striker with Ipswich, is their danger man. But the fact remains that, personally, you cannot compare Delap to Nicola Jackson. As a backup, even as a backup, we still have the young guy from Barcelona. We still have him right there. We still have Madueke. We still have Madueke from Barcelona, 18-year-old. For me, Madueke even have better prospects than the lad. Chelsea, do not go in for another unwanted player. Do not. And like I told you, I believe there's an issue with Enzo Maresca and Mudryk. But hey, he said in our next game, which is against Ipswich, Maresca, he said we will see if we make 1, 2, or 3 changes against Ipswich. For sure, we are going to change something. So we are hoping to see Mudryk back in the squad in our next game. Ladies and gentlemen, my only challenge here is we cannot keep 2 goalkeepers on the bench and have attacking players out of the squad totally. 2 goalkeepers. 2 goalkeepers. We put Mudryk on the bench instead of another player. Should there be any need, an injury can occur. Sancho, Pedro, all of them could, but you put a goalkeeper on the bench and you left out totally Noni Mudryk. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, let me quickly go to some shout outs. It's been a while. Yes, quickly. Some shout outs for you guys before I go. Quickly. All right. This one coming from Jackson Ward, where he said Chelsea need a top striker. All right. The same person says Maresca should start putting Nkunku and Felix to start. Kopama and Pedro Jackson should rest sometimes. Yes, I agree with you. Kopama especially should be having some rest in some games. Because as it's been man-marked, let's give Joao Felix an opportunity. If Joao Felix was to play and we end up losing again, then we can now say, oh yes, the coach was right. But right now as it stands, we cannot have players like Joao Felix on the bench and we will do only 1 substitution throughout 90 minutes. No. Now, Chance Kanyika says, to be honest, our coach wanted to lose the game. Big mistakes, bringing Nkunku instead of Felix, keeping Gusto, Sancho, Neto, and Enzo for 90 minutes. Why? If this continues, I see Chelsea out of top 4. I'm dive fan for Chelsea. Mr. Chance from Karonga, Malawi. Whoa, big one. Karonga, Malawi. Mr. Chance from Karonga, Malawi. Welcome to the channel. It is your first time, I believe, seeing you on this channel. I'm excited. I'm happy to see you right here. You are welcome. Big shout out to you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance, Mr. Chance from Karonga, Malawi. Big shout out to you out there. The same, he continued, he said, we brought Felix from Atletico Madrid, but just sitting on the bench, it's unfair. Did they brought him just to play Conference League? No, not Maresca should revisit his squad from Malawi. Big shout out to you out there. Then he said, Mr. Salom, Nkunku should go, but in some games, Felix should be in the starting 11. All right, so you think Nkunku can go, right? Okay. Vicente says, we should be concerned about our Chelsea next game because Arsenal will definitely win tonight game and will top us on the table, which they did last night, actually. All right. The next one says, again, Obed from Uganda. Okay, Obed from Uganda. Say, remember we started well with Poch and we ended up as how Maresca has started. So, by the start of January, we should buy quickly these players, Maguire and Victor Osimhen, to settle our lineup. Thanks for everything, our presenter. Big shout out to you, my brother out there from Uganda, Obed from Uganda. Big shout out to you, Obed from Uganda. The last 3. Joanne says, what Lavia doing at Chelsea FC from the beginning? He do nothing, only injury from beginning up to now. He came with an injury. We were told when we signed him, he had a minor injury. Since then, now, when we need him most, he's not been there. Big shout out to you, Johannes. Franklin says, Mr. Selon, this is a young team. We need to be patient with our boys. There are sometimes we don't need to have everything in our favor. We hope our coach will not make that mistake again. I'm Franklin Deswain from Liberia. Franklin Deswain from Liberia, big shout out to you out there. The last but not the least, from Abba Francis Abba, Says Mr. Salom, it was very painful for that loss to Fulham yesterday. I could not eat. The coach time is the problem to our loss in some certain games. I never saw this coming. For Chelsea to lose a match of that magnitude should not be Fulham. Yes, Nkunku did not perform because he's not playing with his mind. For me, he should be sold and bring in a player that is aggressive to deliver. Nkunku is not the kind of player that is drive the ball or disturb the defenders in their own half. To me, he is a bit lazy. Big shout out to you, Abba Francis Abba. Guys, well, it is your breakfast. I'll be back with more exclusives, more on this issue. We have to analyze this game very before we go into our next game. Remember, we still have one more game before the end of the year. Yes, on 29. That is next Monday against Ipswich. Guys, I'll see you all in the next one. When you see me, shalom and peace.